We're going to pretend for a second like the pot has already been brought in. In other words, all the action pre-flop is over and the dealer, you, has brought all the money to the center. Okay, here's your pot. The first thing that you do after all action's complete and you've brought all the bets in, you tap the table. You don't slap the table, you don't hammer the table, you tap the table just loud enough so that everybody knows that the flop's coming. The reason you do that is because it's possible that somebody has not acted and everyone at the table doesn't realize it. And so you're notifying them, hey, if you haven't acted yet, flop's coming. I mean, think about it. A lot of the time in Hold'em, you've got a small blind and a big blind. The big blind is the last one to act, and it's a significant number of times, all they have to do is just check. And sometimes maybe you think they check, or maybe you look up and you didn't realize they didn't check. So you just get everybody's attention real quick, and they know, hey, it's coming. The next thing you do, instead of just bringing the flop, the next thing you do is you burn a card. You do this because you don't want anybody to be able to tell what the top card of the deck is. And if we didn't have this rule where we burn a card, somebody could mark a card and then they might know what was coming. So, in order to burn a card, we have to go to great lengths to make sure that nobody can see what it is, and here's how we do that. We take the card with our thumb in our deckhand and we push it out a little bit. The next thing that we do is we take our index finger, put it underneath, our thumb on top, and we open our hand against the card. We do this so that when we pull the card down, we get our deck real close to the felt. When we pull the card down, nobody can see what it is throughout the whole duration, and then the burn card goes underneath the pot. I'm going to just show you something real quick. A lot of dealers, instead of grabbing it like this with their hand protecting it, they'll grab it like this, just like I'm going to show you when you bring the flop, and they'll bend the card a little bit as they bring it down, and it exposes that corner right there, and the players that see it over there aren't going to say anything. So we go to great lengths to make sure that nobody can see. We bring that card and we protect it all the way until it's under the pot. The next thing we do is we bring the flop itself. So, to bring the flop, what we do is, I'm going too quick for myself. This is a little bit more informal than the normal True Poker Dealer videos too. So what we do is, under the card with our index finger, on top of the card with our thumb, and we bring it down. Do it again, bring it down. Now we want it to be roughly on top. If it's a little bit up or down, it's okay. Same thing, third one. These three cards are gonna be the community cards, and I try to line them up as nicely as I can, but I mean, it can be whatever. The next thing that you do, you slide your thumb on one side, index finger on the top, and other fingers on the outside, and kind of put the cards together. If you have to, you can bring your thumb to the bottom for a moment. But the goal is to get all three cards like this. I mean, this is slightly slower than the fastest way you can do it, and there's other ways to bring a flop, and there's other ways to bring the burn. I teach this way because I consider presentation to be important. When you drop the cards, you pick it up and you want to actually bring it down with your thumb. And then, this is the fun part. You put your thumb right on the edge of those three cards and you pull them out and they come out straight. When you display a flop in poker, you always want a little bit of felt in between each card. Sometimes you see an inexperienced dealer bring a flop and the cards are touching or overlapping. That is not good. It makes it harder for everyone to see what's there. So you want there to be space in between each card, okay? At this point, there would be action on this. The next thing that we do, we bring all the bets in after all the action's complete on the flop, and then we're going to bring the turn. To bring the turn, we do the same thing again. We tap the table, not too loud, especially in the World Series. They hate a loud tap, okay? Tap the table gently, and we do the same type of burn where we're gonna grab with our thumb on top, index finger on the bottom, and our hand protecting everything. And we put it in a diagonal pattern toward us. And then, to bring the turn, you push the card out, and look, I'm turning my hand upside down. Now my index finger's on the top, my thumb is on the top corner, but underneath, and I flip it up, and then I drag it over here. Now, I will say, there are plenty of dealers that say, you're supposed to just bring it right to the spot. Fine, okay? I like presentation and I like getting the card visible as quick as possible. And so I just put it right in front of me, and then I slide it up where it's going to be nice and neat. I just like the way that looks better. Plenty of dealers do it this way, plenty of dealers do it the other way. They're both right, unless your supervisor says to do it one specific way, and then you do exactly what you're told. Then it's time for another betting round. Bring all the bets in, same thing, and we have to do the same thing again to bring the river. This time, we tap the table, we burn the card again, and what it means is if somebody mucks a card onto it, you can tell what's what and where everything belongs. And that protects it in case something weird happens and the deck needs